All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Ever since WP pulled that up, I look at it for confirmation. What? The fact that I was changing the title there? Yeah, so the title today is Kop-Out of Kourna. It's going to be one of those days where, unfortunately, I'm not going to have the time or the inclination, really, to do a full stream. So I'm basically here to say hi. I'm here to say I'm not here, which we had to resort to doing last month as well, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, I really do want to finish the story. Obviously, in the middle of the streams at the moment, we've got the conclusion to the Kourna playthrough, story-wise, and then possibly some more race stuff. I'm not entirely sure. But the truth is, guys, I'm completely swamped with about 100 things that I need to do. I really need to figure out getting the LP back on. If you guys saw, let me just give you a bit of behind the scenes here. It's been long enough that what's the point of me not telling you? My engineer was gonna be doing the next dungeon in the LP, minor spoilers. So I'd practiced it several times, and I was ready to finish it, but it was extremely reliant on one specific skill called Elixir U, which had a thrown ability that meant when you threw it, sometimes it created a reflect wall, and sometimes it created a blinding wall. But the point is that deflects projectiles. And that's really important in Sorrow's Embrace because there's tons of dredge there. Dredge which cannot be blinded and are often heavy projectile based. So I'd got the dungeon down pat. It was actually it wasn't as easy as TA, but it wasn't as hard as CM or AC. So I was really, really comfortable and feeling good with it. And with the big balance, and what's really frustrating is if I'd found a way to juggle the LP and the Kourna release together, I could have been past the dungeon and this wouldn't have hit me. But the devs just nerfed it. They nerfed the hell out of it. Elixir U doesn't do anything for projectiles anymore. Nothing. It's just toss Elixir U, breaking stun on allies and granting them quickness. Now, I think the reason that they retooled this, I don't mention this in the video of Boots, but I think one of the reasons they've retooled this is because Scrapper exists, and Scrapper has a lot of reflect mitigation and whatnot. So they want sort of those defensive-oriented aspects of the class to be loaded into what they see Scrapper as. And now that Core Engie doesn't really have an opportunity for that, it makes Scrapper look better by comparison. Which is fine. I think that's okay. And then they've also said, all right, well, we'll just make this tonic... or this Elixir really offensive based, I guess. I don't know, because then it's like, how's it distinct from Elixir B? They said on the notes that it was to do with reducing RNG and stuff, but the only RNG people really care about is Tornado and Rampage. Anyway, there's discussions on that on Balance of Boots. The fact is that I'm now gutted for how to do that dungeon, and I have to figure a lot of stuff out again now. So, yeah, I got to figure that out. Obviously, just getting back in the rhythm of where the LP is taking its time as well. And frankly, it's just been for numerous personal reasons, it's been a bit of a depressing week. It doesn't help. I literally just finished watching the Belgium-England game, and not very good news over there. Well, that's probably a little bit spoilery for people, but there you go. Whatever. If you're interested in the foot, you probably saw it. Yeah, it's just not been a great week, so I've really got to get back on top of things. I did Balance with Boots way back on Tuesday. Edited about 70% of it, but it's really long. I think it's the longest Balance with Boots ever that we've done, and I got a ton of it done, but just felt really fatigued in the middle, so just went away, and I haven't gone back to it yet. So I need to finish editing Balance with Boots. I've got to get that other stuff on, and I really want to just focus down. I do like doing the streams, but unfortunately, guys, very few people come to the streams compared to YouTube, and I've got to like be serious about what I'm doing here. So I've got to go work on some YouTube stuff, I'm afraid. And yeah, I hope that all makes sense. We will continue with the Kourna playthrough tomorrow. I will be here at the regular time. But yeah, that's just a little bit of what's going on, really. Guild Wars side that I'd like to talk about. But there you go. Yeah, that's what we get for being soon. The thing that's really depressing me about the World Cup right now is I don't think anyone sincerely, unless you're a complete fool, actually thought England was really worth anything. Many of us didn't even think we'd get out of the group stages. We've been doing terrible for years and years and years and years and years. And some people, I think, were ironically doing the it's coming home thing. But then it seemed that after we beat Sweden, it was the first time in so long to be even remotely hopeful for our national team. And so some of us got a little bit excited. But meanwhile, on the internet, as soon as the Sweden game happened, everyone, it's like in vogue to proper be a hate on England fans. I get it that England fans are really obnoxious, and I'm a bit frustrated with it as well. But I mean, people really, you will not find any love or sympathy anywhere on the internet. Everyone loathed that we got as far as Sweden. It's really weird. One thing that really depressed me is I really have no strong feelings about any other nationality in the world. I really don't. But one thing that depressed me and kind of bummed me out to see was on our island, like there was this huge thread of literally nothing but Irish people just happy that England had left the World Cup. And it really upsets me to see that people are, even people who are intelligent enough to use the internet and in this modern day are vicious. People are generally really vicious about England's success. It was really kind of annoying. And then obviously we crapped out because we're not that good. And I think that was always quite well understood. But hey. Anyway, so yeah, that also can swirl into the mix of just feeling like a bit of a failure this week. Yeah, it was self-deprecating. Well, I thought that It's Coming Home was self-deprecating until I started seeing it on our TV channels and stuff and adverts and things. And like, you see like punters down the road actually saying it sincerely. So I don't know, but I mean, I get it's insufferable. But it was a bit unfortunate just to see, like, the amount of just general really snidey meanness about, you know, happiness in the failures of one country. But there you have it. You Swiss were quite happy when Germany was out? I mean, it just feels like it's everywhere. I mean, really feels like it's everywhere here. But I've probably got a bit of a weird opinion about that. But anyway, that's pretty minor. That's pretty irrelevant. Congratulations to Belgium for third, as they just got a moment ago. And it would be impossible to say that Croatia didn't beat us. It well-deserved beat us. It would be impossible to say that Belgium weren't well-deserved when they beat us. So, you know, from those perspectives, as depressing as it is, there you go. The World Cup is elite teams from across the world. You're going to go up against some tough competition. But yeah, all right, so this is the plan. You're hopefully going to see Balance with Boots tonight on YouTube. It's going to be a hell of a render and a big watch. You also might see, so I guess I'll talk a tiny bit about this, the Jessica Price Peter Freeze thing. There have been 2 different scripts, full video scripts that I've kind of, that haven't been fully finished, but have been pretty on their way, that I then later kind of scrapped. I don't know. That whole thing's taken. I said last weekend that, or on Monday, the last stream that you saw was only on Monday, that the whole thing had invigorated me or whatever. But that's a bit of a swirling maelstrom of depression as well. Like, to really look at that stuff. I had a really upset tweet during the week, which I know sounds a bit stupid, and who really should take Twitter seriously, but here we are. I really want to point out some of the scummy stuff that I've seen. Like, but I don't want to draw any attention to the peddlers of the scum, basically. And some people said, oh, just make a video and be really non-specific. But the thing is, if you talk too non-specifically about this stuff, as I am right now on this stream, there's nothing pointed about it. There's nothing that people can take away from it. There's nowhere to channel the poor feelings we have. And I wonder, but then I start wondering, should it be my job to channel poor feelings toward things? Isn't that just sort of stirring up a mob? And I don't know. I'm in a weird place where I'm not qualified to talk about anything really outside of various Guild Wars 2 game mechanic stuff, but there's stuff I think is really important that people should see and understand and like know about the shit that's going on. But at the same time, I don't like, I don't know. So there's been 2 videos, and one was kind of one take, one was a very hard and fast other take, and I've sort of got rid of them both. And now I don't know whether I ever want to talk about it again. There is a lot of worthwhile news people should see. Like, there's been a lot since the last video I did. So I think maybe I'll wait a little bit longer and then just do one more video that is purely about the information of the fallout of the event, Twitter gate or whatever you want to call it, you know, and then maybe wipe my hands with it. I'm not sure, but yeah. If you want to link articles, use the archive version. They won't get clicks. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're not the first person to say that, Tulip. But here's the thing. I've explained this before. It's the same with other YouTubers who curry false favor from their audiences because they say, oh, I'm covering this, but this really controversial, ridiculous thing where I say outlandish stuff, but I'm not, or I basically steal content, but I'm not advertising it, so I'm the good guy, see, I'm not advertising. Just because certain websites and articles and discussion forums and whatnot don't get ad revenue from a single fluff piece, you still are a massive boon to their notoriety and their notability and their spread by mentioning a name, you know, by even letting people be aware that they are large enough to have a reputation or whatever. Like, so often, the best way to remove this stuff is just to smother... wait, no, not smother. The reverse of smother. Just be so hands-off. It's kind of like, you know, a moron on the street with no following. Nobody cares about the opinions of a moron on the street with no followings. But that you can take that same moron and give them a following, and all of a sudden it's like they matter. When the facts of the universe are the same, that their opinions are no more on point than they were before. But now it's notable because we think it's notable. Do you get what I mean? So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is, it doesn't matter whether you give clicks to an individual piece. You foster curiosity and understanding of institutions that should probably be nothing but a tiny blip on the horizon of the internet that nobody understands or cares about and has no success at all. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, I'm just caught in a very, very, very weird place. The truth is that I'm a nobody myself, and that's really empowering in a lot of ways, but that's also very restrictive in a lot of ways. It's empowering that, like, someone said to me, oh yeah, WP, be careful, you shouldn't talk shit about X, Y, and Z because you shouldn't point out deliberately shoddy journalism and blah blah blah. You shouldn't do that because you'll paint a target on your back, man. And it's like, I won't paint a target on your back. I'm a nobody, so that's good. At least nobody cares about me or my opinions. Like, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I can put a lot of effort into a production, and it will get, you know, a tenth of what someone who just spams something out with only rudimentary facts every day on a different YouTube channel will. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's, like I said, it's a maelstrom of depression. The topic itself, my conflict in how I could possibly cover it or enact any change in this world, and whether that's even relevant for me to think about, which is probably not. There's all sorts of stuff. And then, yeah, some personal IRL stuff too, so I don't know. Within Guild Wars 2, you guys might think, oh, you're not a nobody, but within anything else, I am a nobody, which is fine. Monkey Biznaz says, WP, I know you think. I'm glad. Thank you, guys. See, look. I'm not going to stream today, but Twitch, you are a great therapy session. We should make a playlist. When these mods go up on Wood and Potatoes 2, I should make a playlist of the therapy session streams. Honestly, so many videos so many have made videos to follow up on the attention this has gotten. You had a great video talking about what it means to interact on social media and our shortcomings as a human being. There's no point beating a dead horse. No. It wouldn't be beating it. I wouldn't be going over the same stuff. I'd be talking about, you know, like Peter Freeze had a response. I haven't covered Mo's response. I haven't covered 2 of Jessica's follow-up comments. You know, there's facts that can be expressed and talked about. Even if we move away from the journalism side of things, and that stuff. But yeah. Have you got back into PvP? Yeah, I missed Game of the Day. I actually have. So I've wasted a ton of time in misery this week in PvP. And it's not helped, the misery, because I have to say, well, there's 2 sides. I'll be less grumpy. First of all, we're playing Soul Beast on the streams, right? Condi Soul Beast. I've been playing this gimmicky, I mean, I saw someone blew me up from 1500 range on like a random game for daily about 4 or 5 days ago. Like, I was just wandering around and they globaled me. And I think it was Colosseum, and I think they had the sword, but I was like, wow, that's really kind of crazy. So I went on Soul Beast and I thought, let's learn about this. And I made a Soul Beast build. I have no idea if this is what everyone else is running. I see a lot of people run Great Swords and Gazelles, which I really don't care about and haven't used. But yeah, I've been running a lot of Soul Beast. Power Soul Beast. This is the build that I made. You guys can use it if you like. Obviously, this stream has got no demo of it in use, so I'm not actually going to play it. But I mean, the build itself is fun. It's a gimmick. But yeah, this is an unblockable 1500 range one-shot. It's like, it's Fresh Air Ellie on crack. Compared to Fresh Air Ellie, it trades off a lot of escape potential, a lot of mobility, and a lot of invuln uptime, to be fair, invuln uptime, and just a little bit of utility. But it trades that for just a truly obscene pressure spike. And I'll demonstrate it to you on one of the bosses, I guess. Like this can, you know, the gates, the uncrittable gates on Legacy. If you guys have any perspective for taking those out, this is a build that can one-shot the gate from 1500 range. I say one-shot, I mean within a 2-second window, it will kill the gate. You can kill the gate in about 2 seconds from 1500 range. And not on, like, truly obscenely, hideously long cooldowns. So yeah, I've been playing this, and it is fun. The build is fun, and has a bit more to it than you'd think. I've been playing with a lot of secondary pets. This pet, in my opinion, is almost non-negotiable, just because using Smoke Assault combined with one wolf pack is just so ridiculous. This pet you can change. The Jacaranda is really good for pressure. I got like a 700k damage game where I was just able to kill people in mid and then double lightning storm over the bodies with one wolf pack and stuff. And this is like a crazy. Bristle's all right. I really like the bird though. Any of the bird varieties, I'm on the eagle right now. This swoop is everything. This swoop will have you getting ripped. Will change it from you getting ripped to pieces by warriors and reapers and guardians to an extent as well, to just playing with them. It's a really fun playstyle because it's all about lines of sight, and like, if you're in close quarters with anyone, you'll lose to pretty much any build in the meta right now. Pretty much any build will beat you in close quarters. Only thieves, maybe you can get around by getting a good reveal and then some nice crits and things. But at range, you really get this beautiful stuff. So there's all kinds of little things you can do, like on Legacy. Where's the Legacy map? There's all kinds of slightly different rotations. It makes you think about the maps differently. Where is Legacy? Is this Legacy? No, that's Temple. No, that's... and, like, what map you vote on as well. Here you go, Forest. Forest is what I was looking for. So, like, one thing that's really, really strong on this build is taking side gate, always. Because you can stealth yourself with the smoke scale. Leap out. You can hit any crosses very easily. Without even putting yourself vulnerable, you can blow up crosses. But also, as you wander out here, the enemy team often will come through the gate, or vice versa. But you have such a beautiful cone of vision here. You can nearly always kill a Scourge or a Reaper. Don't forget they start with no Shroud, or several different squishy builds. You can just one-shot someone there and you can outnumber immediately at mid. Like, there's a lot of or if they come at you, you can sweep back through, and you can... There's a lot of really fun things, and I like that different perspective and interaction with the maps. It is a bit of a gimmick, though. And I've been enjoying it, you know. It took me a while to learn Soul Beast stuff, like just the idea of having 2 pets and dipping in and out of the 2 ones. I'll show you some of the pressure here. Wait, where are the bosses? I thought that they were... Am I just completely brain dead? Oh yeah, they're down here. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. Well, let me finish this. If we do this... So, bouncing... And it's got just the right amount of boon uptime, this variant, anyway, for me. I really like... Some builds, it feels like they go too much. But, yeah, it's not too bad. And what you just saw there, I can really do from 1500 range. Except that last bit where I used the smoke scale assault there. Like, it's truly obscene damage. And it's hilarious. It's amazing. And it's unblockable. So it can't be reflected. It can't be blocked by your warriors in their shield stances and stuff. I mean, really, I'm not joking. It's crazy. So anyway, it's a fun build, but I hate that I'm about to say this because I sound exactly like Jebro sounded a while ago, and I sound exactly like several people sounded when I came in again around Season 8, Season 9. We're now on Season 12, okay? So it's been a while since I've been... I mean, most of this year, I would consider myself a significant PvPer. I played about 2,000 games. Before I came back, I'd only played about 4,000. So half of my total amount, back when I used to be really competitive, way back in the day, 2012, 2013, I played about half that amount this year. I really have played a lot. This season is awful. I mean, really, really bad. Like, I've never seen it worse. It's terrible. I feel really bad that I stopped covering the ATs. I feel really bad that the PvP beginner series never came out. I feel like whatever was there is gone, has evaporated. And I don't know whether this is a thing that wax and wanes, but it's... And I hate saying this because that's just going to make other people leave and the problem will double down. But truly, most people playing PvP right now are terrible at the game. The matchmaking cannot do anything about it. It's really, really bad. And I don't know where that really has come from. I did stop a little bit over the past month and just came back this week. But, I mean, I played a lot of games this week. Just to be clear, I've been distracting myself a lot with this when I shouldn't be. But competitive... I've been going for Champion Hunter. I hadn't even started Champion Hunter. So I've had 126 wins on this build. So I played at least double that many games because my win rate's been about 50-50 the entire time. So I played about 300 games this week. And out of those 300-ish games, if we say that that's what I played, I've enjoyed several because of the build, but genuinely good, high-quality games, I've had probably 5, maybe 5. Probably less. And the really frustrating thing is a lot of reasonably well-balanced games, you just get on EU and NA. By the way, what I keep doing is I'm doing my placements and then swapping and doing placements and then swapping and doing placements and seeing how it goes. And I've come out of placements almost plat 3, and I've come out of placements plat 1. Actually, no, one of my placements I came out gold 2, which was weird because I had a 50-50 win rate on that play. That was the worst one. So there's a huge variance where the placements have taken me out. This isn't a rant about matchmaking, but I taught myself over the point. Yeah, even most of the time on EU and NA, the AFKing is obscene now. I mean, it's really bad. People go AFK after losing the first mid. I mean, that's a joke that you used to see on Reddit, right? And like a deliberately exaggerated, heightened, absurd situation. Going mid after just going AFK for losing the first mid. There are actually genuine little boys that do that constantly in PvP at the moment. I mean, that is not actually a rare situation that I've seen. I don't know whether it's because I keep doing my placements and it's throwing me into the golds because of the first placements you do the matchmaking, and I'm getting a broader picture of what Guild Wars 2 has always been like. I mean, that's possible, but I mean that is happening a lot. It's in the situation where the only people playing it really feels like, or most of the people playing, they are only there for wins. They really are. And it's not because they only want gold, and it's not because they only want pips, and it's not because they only want ascended shards and legendary armor and stuff. It's not that. I think most people say that, but I think it's just that they find it impossible to have fun unless they're winning. I mean, that's what the community is at the moment. It's impossible to have fun unless you are winning. So they just completely QQ and cry. That sense of fair play and being competitive and actually enjoying a PvP game, even when it's hard, you can recognize it's a good game. You've been blow for blow every point the whole way up. When the matchmaking gets it right, people go AFK. When the matchmaking gets it wrong and it's a hugely lopsided game, 5 people have a miserable time, 5 people love it. And when the matchmaking gets it right, people go AFK. That's really the situation that it's in. And it's not just that side, but there's another side of just how terrible it's gotten. The amount of, like, all caps screaming, childish name calling. I mean, I've even been getting pretty toxic. Honestly, I've been, like, shouting back at people. I'm feeling a bit depressed this week, so I don't know whether that's contributed to it a bit. But I've been getting down in the mud a little bit as well. I felt it coming out of me. But it's so bad. Like, people mailing you after games and just being genuinely really horrendous, horrible people. and just screaming and shouting at each other in chat constantly, and that's just like normal at the moment. It really is. Like, it's just horrendous. It's horrendous. This is coming from someone who's on his 6,000th win at the moment, okay? And I'm talking about the last 300 games. So I have a very broad perspective and understanding of Guild Wars 2 PvP over the ages, and this is what I'm telling you the state of PvP is at the moment. It's really bad. And not just like name calling and people like that, but people just not knowing how to play. People just being wrong. The amount of times I've seen people say, you need to fight on point, and doing it in caps and typing on point. You know, the easiest way to look like a gold or silver player, which basically means bad at this point, right? Is to say, please fight on point. Like, these people don't understand that you have to win fights. Getting kills equals momentum equals nodes. It's just, that's alien to them now. I had a fight on Colosseum about 3-4 hours ago, where our team was losing so bad we were being spawn camped on Colosseum. Let me show you, okay? We were being spawn camped, right? So they had 3 enemy players here, and I respawned roughly around the same time as one of my allies. My ally goes out first because he respawns slightly forward, and he jumps into 3 enemies that are spawn camping him. He tries to 1v3, okay? I am on this ranger build that doesn't do much in melee, but it's great with lines of sight and range, right? So I stand on the ledge where I can't be attacked by 3 players, and I put like obscene pressure out to do some damage again to support my ally who's in a 1v3. But at the end of the day, my ally's in a 1v3. He's in a meat grinder. He's going to die. So I'm standing on the ledge putting pressure. I even down one of them, I think. That's irrelevant. But after my ally dies, some complete dimwit from elsewhere on the team starts screaming and cussing that I watched my ally die instead of jumping down to help him. Like, this is what we're dealing with. People that have no idea what they're talking about, who are also hyper aggressive and violent. That's with chat, right? Which obviously it doesn't upset me that much. What upsets me is the state that the game's got to, not that I have too thin skin to deal with the criticism. But it's like these people just don't know what they're talking about at all. Especially the don't fight off point thing. It's just everywhere. I don't know what happened, but people seem to have completely forgotten how this game is played. Every time I see that, I see someone say, don't fight off point, I want to sit them down. I want to show them any number of Georges, Jebro, or my AT casts, okay? And I want to show them the finals, or high-rated, you know, when we did missed challenges or any of this stuff, and show them when a massive team fight, like, there's one I always think of, I don't know why, but it sticks out in my mind. I want to show them where, oh my god, why am I so bad at this? I guess because I don't do it much. What's going on over here as well? That's interesting. There you go, Legacy. I want to show them when, like, a team fight with high-rated, decent players explodes, like, here, right? Or, like, here. Or you know, any of these places not near a node. I want to show them when a team fight explodes in one of these places, and I want them to start typing, oh, these idiots, they're not fighting on point, fight on point, fight on point. It's like, come on, like, you just got no idea what you're talking about. If you mindlessly zerg to a node, letting people attack you all the way, so 2 dodges and a heal skill are blown before you get there, you're going to lose the fight, and net gain is 0. It doesn't matter if I die here while fighting back, instead of dying here where the result would have been the same anyway. Stick together, kill people, and then take the node when it's advantageous for you. Typing in all caps, don't fight off point, is obscene. If you're a firebrand that's standing there watching everyone die around you because you refuse to get off the node, you're a bad player, not your team. Risk the decap, save your allies, kill the enemies, cap while the opposing team's on respawn, snowball, and win. It's extremely simple. People had this figured out in November 2012. No, you're not any good at the game, and please turn off caps lock cruise control. And yeah, I can't. It's literally. It feels impossible to get a game where someone isn't crying in all caps. And I don't know. I don't know how it deteriorated so heavily. It feels like, what, 2 months ago I was doing the ATs, and it feels like it just vanished. I don't know what happened. It's gone. And so what a cesspit. I like the builds because it's just hilarious and ridiculous. I don't know whether it's healthy for the scene. But yeah, that's been PvP for me as well the past week, which by far beyond anything else I've done a ton of. What's my FPS? Probably really low at the moment, yeah. 30 while I'm streaming. and with everything maxed out, and my PC still needs being cleaned. Please make PvP tutorials, WP. I mean, I have scripts. I have a huge thing for a PvP series, but my passion's gone now at the moment. It really has. It's gone. Because I feel like it's just gonna, you know, if I did a big series and got people really excited and we all did it, I feel like all it does is buy a few more months before everything falls apart again with it. I just... There's nothing to retain the top end, I guess. I mean, the other thing I think about a lot, is random arenas from Guild Wars 1 in 2018. So, like, because Guild Wars 1's had a lot of people playing at the moment, lots of streamers have gone to it, lots of people have been picking it up because of the Steam sale, there's been updates, there's been Bill Fries and Stephen Clark Wilson talking about it, there's loads of stuff going on with Guild Wars 1. So I've seen quite a lot of discussion about RA. You know, people still play random arenas in Guild Wars 1. They still play it. 4v4 game type, deathmatch. They still play it. They play random arenas. And apparently, if you go there, though, it's the most toxic, like, bog of a community. Like, people really flip out if you run even the slightest off-meta thing. Like, and it just makes me think, you know, Guild Wars 2 will be that eventually. Like, it's a certain kind of person, and I guess I'm bordering on being that certain kind of person, because here I am in 2018 playing this. There's a certain kind of person who will keep playing, no matter how dead a game becomes. You know, Guild Wars 1, PvP, I mean, we're talking dead games. I don't think anyone should be ashamed to point out Guild Wars 1's a pretty dead game in terms of PvP. There are people, though, that still play it, and there's a certain kind of human that will continue sticking out. I don't know whether it's addiction. I don't know what it is. But, you know, it doesn't surprise me that Guild Wars 1's like that. And I wonder whether Guild Wars 2 is just veering competitively closer and closer and closer and closer to that. And you can have great content creators who do serious good work, like Georges, like Jebro, who put in that work for, like me for a little while. I would say maybe that's a bit egotistical. But certainly not in the past few months. You can have people that do that and, like, hold back the shore. But at the end of the day, it's veering towards that random arena style thing. And I keep thinking about that, and I don't know. It's bumming me out. So I waste so much time playing this. I really do. Let me be clear. I have fun with the build. So I waste so much time playing it, and I have no doubt that I could have been so much more productive if I haven't been just shirking responsibilities and doing this. So I think, I don't know, but my current-ish feeling is, when I get Hunter and Champion Hunter done, and when I get my last few Rev games, which should be really easy, Rev's fun and comfortable at the moment, I might put down PvP. I don't know. For at least a long while. I don't know. Getting Champion Brawler, getting my 10,000 wins. Like, I'm not almost at 6,000 here, you see. So getting my 10,000th win might be fun. But I don't know. I doubt I'll get too much higher than Ruthless Legend. I doubt I'll get Unyielding top 10. Well, top 25 I was extremely close to one of these seasons. I might get Relentless. But yeah, all right, there you go. Anyway, so I'm going to go. I got to go edit. This has been a fairly long stream, over half an hour. This was literally just me coming online to tell you guys that I'm not going to be here. Tomorrow, we will do the story. I will be playing some Condi Soul Beast. Game of the Day might come back. I do have a ton of footage of these Soul Beast games because it is kind of hilarious and funny. But yeah, so if anybody subbed today, thank you very much. I mean, you really didn't have to. I don't think I deserve it. I haven't really done anything. I've just whined. That's it. Oh my god, what have I just opened? Oh, that's RetroArch. Hold on, let me wait, what? Where are my notifications? I've lost my notifications. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I've buggered that up. Let me just say, if you subbed today, thank you very much. I will read out the subs tomorrow when I have the full list and I can figure out where to get my notifications back. But I've lost them for now, so I'm really sorry about that, guys. But thank you. Anybody who did sub today, you're a god. Is there any question or something I've missed in chat here, because I've not really looked at it very much, that you guys really want a response to just before I go? You can feel free to type it just here. I'll wait a second for stream delay. Have a little bit of water. No more. We're not getting a PvP stream. No, he came on to say he isn't coming on, but WP is WP, so it takes an hour to say that. Hey, it's only been 35 minutes. You know, I think about back at school when, like, detention would take half an hour. You know, like a small detention would be 30 minutes. And that felt like years. Sitting about, being forced to do nothing, felt like years. Here, I've just managed. I literally feel like I've blinked and it's been half an hour. Time strange. Weird. Oh, Rune and Amulet. Yeah, so here's the full. This is what I'm running. I'm running Marauders, Strength. I'm running, and again, I built this myself. I have no idea what anyone else is running, except that a lot of them are on Greatsword and Gazelles, and they're going like super cheese. I'm running Intelligence on the Axe, because this is a fucking godly finisher. This can crit light armor for like 12k, and it will always crit because of your Intelligence. And then I'm also running Exploitation, because you're often set to swap to this set to finish someone off again with the Axe 3. Axe 2 is one of the weakest skills on this entire build. The auto is great as well for bouncing Might, which you'll get benefit, and length and duration because of the strength runes. Over on the longbow, it's all about blowing people up from far away. So you're on Separation and Courage. So Courage, again, means you get so many packets of damage here from the rapid fire, whatnot, and just plinking people from far away with the barrages. The barrage got buffed because of one of the changes this patch as well. When you're really far away. Basically, this just builds a reasonable amount of might, which then you kind of copy over to your pet and stuff with the We Healers one. You will get to 25 after long engagements. It's just the right amount of might that this build has, in my personal opinion. So yeah, you got the courage to build the might, to make sure you got that strength going on, and separation. That's what I'm running there. And then for traits, it is the Beastmaster, Soul Beast with marksmanship. And there's a lot that's variable here. So Go for the Eyes is good and can save you in tight situations. I really like... even Potent Ally can be okay, but I think that's over might, personally. But here, Resounding Timber is really good. So this is the Shout trait, which drops your heal skills cooldown heavily and ensures that you get swiftness from it. So when you go Warhorn 5 and then the heal, you get tons of swiftness. This means you don't have to go into your beast mode to move quickly. Because of the 30% move speed that you now get from that. But so this is, and also very importantly, you get your Fury there. So I find myself very often doing that. But not before a fight is what I mean. This is sort of your precast. You go 5 and then the 6 and then you'd go blow someone up. But yeah, I really like Resounding Timber. Also drops down Sicken, which is a huge movement speed modifier for you and 40% damage. So when you sicken someone, you like this. This skill is a great escape and one of your heaviest killers. It even has that 6-second reveal on a 2000 range. This skill's obscene now. It's so strong. Really, really cool skill and fun on Soulbeast. So, yeah, you get the synergy with both of those. But the other two traits aren't terrible. And here there's even choices. I actually kind of like what Arena have done. I played with Natural Healing for a while. It looks really shit, but it also means that while you're in Beast mode, you're regenerating constantly. Feels a bit like Backpack regenerated for the NG, just a little bit, and it could be what gives you the edge. The weakness on the Beast skills also, though, will save you in a lot of situations. If you get a good usage of this just before you're about to get jumped by a thief or something, any of the melee builds at the moment, because you are so vulnerable when people get in close. Honestly, you're so vulnerable. Two-handed trading I've never touched because I don't run Greatsword, or I'll go underwater. And then the Grandmaster you can change as well. I was running Taunt for a long time. It's great for interrupting over bodies. It's great for keeping people away from you. It is great for all kinds of stuff. Really good. I've never touched Lesser QZ. I don't give a shit about it. You do not need the quickness. The only reason I'd look at this is for the super speed, personally. You might think, oh, do a quickness burst WP for the big... You don't need it. I promise you don't need it. Because the way it works is you're unblockable anyway, so it's basically they evade it or they don't, and the quickness won't make your window of pressure so short that they can't even think about dodging it, you know? So don't worry about the lesser QZ, even though you might be tempted to take Essence of Speed synergy with it. And then there's Honed Axes as well. This really bumps your damage. I don't care about the AoE Winter's Bite, but that 250 Ferocity, it just feels... And also, it helps you to get your Winter's Bite for the spike on the individual person. This just, I feel like I hit so much harder with this, but I'll swap between these a lot. In many ways, I think most good players will say Beastly Warden is the be-all and end-all, but there's more to this than meets the eye. Marksmanship, I run Clarion Bond, but sometimes you can run... Actually, I've not touched Stoneform. Too long of a cooldown for me these days. Way too long. But I get it if you want to run that. Hunter's Gaze is mediocre, but I really like Clarion Bond. Clarion Bond allows you to, when you go... I got to be in combat, really. But Clarion Bond is what gives you the opportunity to get your smoke field out and, like, double blast it, then use the bird and leap out. And I just blasted... I got to get myself so much stealth there and created a huge gap. It's really that weapon, that pet swap blast from Clarion Bond is huge. That stealth and the bird as well with the swoop is beyond anything else your survivability. You'll notice that there's dick all cleanse here. There's like no cleanse, but you can outrange most Condi applicators or flee when a Mirage catches you close. Seriously, it's all about flee. And if playing tons of Fresh Air early has taught me anything, it's that a lot of defensive attributes in builds pale in comparison to just speed. I think a lot of thieves will have appreciation for that as well. So yeah, like most of the time you'll just outrange or just leave. That's it. It's about keeping the 1500 range gap. And it's better, like this is the worst build to run on, say, like Skyhammer. But it's a great build on certain more big open flat maps. Anyway, Clarion Bond. I run far-sighted, obviously. The main reason I looked at this build was because this was buffed. This now hits everything, not just projectiles. So Barrage is stronger when you're really far away, various other things. Your Warhorn 4 is much better far away. And really, that's one of the things that does so much pressure. I haven't really ever cared about British Seals. You don't need the Fury. The cooldown would be nice, I guess, but whatever. No, far-sighted I don't really see as too negotiable. And I guess if you're on Greatsword, the Moment of Clarity might be what people run, maybe. For the 50% damage attack of opportunity after you CC someone, and then that's how you get, like, the 20k spike. And then I'm running Lead the Wind. The piercing is just really important for over bodies, getting the point-blank shot to multi-CC through people. Unblockable point-blank shot that hits 5 targets if you're doing it correctly over mid-node. I can see some people liking the thought of Predator's Onslaught, especially if it's after Winter's Bite or something. Too gimmicky for me, though. This just pays off constantly all the time, so I take that. And then Soul Beast, I run Unstoppable Union, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Don't give me any of that fresh reinforcement. Don't give me the beast skill, quickness. This is non-negotiable. You cannot run this build without Unstoppable. This is Grandmaster quality. When something gets nerfed about this build, it's Unstoppable Union. 100%. This is absurd. It's why you exist. Without this, every firebrand that's dropping their bubbles... I mean, the amount of, like, sanctuaries and sanctuary when low and shields and just the projectile mitigation, like, counter meta that's coming up right now is trying so hard. But it can't do anything because Unstoppable Union exists. This gets you through all of the fields. And it makes everyone cry. And it's genuinely the most unhealthy thing about this entire build. This build dies the second this gets nerfed too hard. At 4 seconds, it's so powerful. This should be like 1 second. Seriously. This should be like 1 second. This kills warriors and stuff that are like, oh, I'm using my shield 5. He's going to point blank shot himself. And then you just point blank shot him and interrupt it and stuff. It's just absurd. And then everyone else just ganks them. This is the strongest trait in the entire build. I run second skin. Now, I don't really have any prot juggling for myself, but you will get prot from other people on occasion. And it doesn't matter who gives you the prot. So this just lets me get more benefit and health and sustain while I'm being supported. And I'm very Scourge-like in a lot of ways. You know, glassy, vulnerable. So when a firebrand or someone gives me that bit of prot, Rev's giving prot out a little bit more healthily as well because of another trait change recently. It is nice. You could run Essence of Speed and then pick up a Sigil of Agility somewhere. I don't care that much. And Predator's Cunning, you could run and then swap one of your utilities for, like, Vulture Stance so that you get the poison and the blah, blah, blah. But what's the point in picking up a trait and then swapping off, say, Sikkim, which is a ridiculous modifier, just to pick up a bit more might and lifesteal? It's not worth it. So, yeah, but those are possible. To me, second skin is the only thing really there. And then over here, I started with Leader of the Pack, didn't like it very much. I've not tried this, but have been interested. The 90-second ICD for a 4k heal doesn't look worth it to me. But there is more play to that. And then there's Oppressive Superiority, which is basically just do 10% more damage. This I have been curious about. If that healed for a bit more, I would look at it a bit closer. Because I think it could have offered me something. And then there's some pro on my build, which would give me this. But, Yeah, I don't know. There might be some real play to Eternal Bond. It might save my life, but 4K just doesn't feel heavy enough, anywhere near heavy enough. So I'll take the 10% modifier and, you know, double down on what this build's all about, which is blowing people up. So that's what I built. There's a lot of varieties of Soul Beasts out there, actually, at the moment. There really are a lot of varieties. Some people even trying Condi and PvP. I'm not saying that this is the best, but it is the most hilarious. I mean, it's... The thing is, I've got, like, hours of footage, and if I could just show you, like, the highlights, I could do a little montage. It's mental. You might not have a correct mental picture of what it's like to, in 2 seconds, just eliminate the Necro from the team fight instantly. From such ludicrous range that they could never possibly do anything to counter you. It's great. It's great. It's great on Colosseum. It's great on Legacy. It's really good on Temple as well. Temple, it's a bit of a 10 out of 10 because the opening mid at least, and then you get beautiful lines of sight across the top here, and you get beautiful lines of sight down to Trank. When it comes to the actual node combat on the sides, it's not great. But for all the intercepts and mid pressure you could ever want, it's a ludicrous build on that map. It would probably be hideous on Courtyard, not that I'm playing it. What else? It's actually really good on Kylo as well. Kylo's one of my favorite maps. Again, because the ways you interact with environment. Spawn camping is hilarious here because you can actually kill people while they're still in their base. And you guys know me. I like to, you know, I'll pluck off a kill on far at the start. And then I'll just harass on spawn, just constantly. I'll just find that Necro and I'll just eliminate them from game and make sure I have my 33% of the map. And you can do that so strong on Kylo. And just CT has just got great lines of sight everywhere, really. So Kylo's actually really good. Even the mid node itself now, because you can catch someone with their pants down so quickly. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to get off the node and duck around, but in the middle of the heat of a fight, it's really good. So that's the majority of maps that it's really great on. Really, the only one I really don't like it on is Skyhammer. That's the only one. Its heaviest counters are Guardians, I think, because Guardians, anyone who can get a melee to you, fucks you up. And Guardians have got a lot of really potent gap closers that can do that. Reapers are very scary as well, but if you can get away from them. And that's why I've really come to the bird more than anything else at the moment. Any variety. This skill, this build goes from like a 6 out of 10 to maybe, well, okay, no. This build goes from like a 4 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10 just because of this one skill. This one skill is the make or break. Stealthing on top of a 1200 range leap is huge. And I get that when you run a Gazelle, you also get a good gap close as well. Or gap creator, I should say. Because he can also charge. But it doesn't feel like it has the same animation or weight to it. I've not played too much Gazelle. Which one is it? It's the 2 this time, right? So this one, I don't know. It feels a bit slower or something. The range is still 2,000, and it's got a huge hit on the end. So Gazelle could definitely do something as well, I'm sure. Or maybe I could play a bit more with it. But there you go, guys. That's a massive thing about the build that I'm running at the moment. Show, don't tell. Show me, I need to see it. Well, we'll see if I do a video. I've got to go, guys. I've got to go. It's now 50 minutes. That's half of the regular stream anyway. The Gazelle's... Wait, is this a leap as well? This isn't a leap, so you wouldn't stealth out of this. Yeah, the bird gets this. They're both worldly impact. Depending on which bird you take, they're both worldly impact. So that's sort of irrelevant. If anything, I'd want a different one because the smoke scale has worldly impact as well. And you're likely to use that after the unrelenting assault from the smoke scale. Should have just done a normal stream. Well, there you go. Anyway, so I hope you guys got some value out of this. I hope you understand a little bit of what's going on with me and the fact that I really need to get on and edit and do some good stuff. So it was good to see you all. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And I'll be back tomorrow, I promise, with some good story action while we'll be finishing the patch. Catch you next time, guys. Thanks very much, and I'll see you shortly.